Hey Figma fans, are you struggling with auto layout in Figma and want to make your design super flexible, responsive, and dynamic? Whether you are designing buttons, cards, or full layouts. Today we'll cover advanced resizing options, direction plus gap types, and alignment box in auto layout. After watching this, you'll be able to create designs that adapt seamlessly to any content or screen size. This is Tulsi from KnowHow Academy. Let's break down everything we'll cover today. First, resizing options like hug contents, fill container, fixed size, etc. Second, direction plus gaps like vertical and horizontal layout. Then, alignment box, that means aligning elements within auto layout. And lastly, we'll do a practical demonstration where we combine all the above features into one responsive design. So let's get started. Before diving into advanced features, let's quickly go over the basics of auto layout in Figma. Auto layout allows you to create flexible, responsive frames where the positioning and resizing of elements happen automatically. Based on either their content or the parent container, you can think of it like laying out your items in a grid or a stack that automatically adjusts as content changes. Now, let's get into the resizing options available in Figma's auto layout. These are the tools that let you control how your elements resize when the content or container changes. First, hug contents. This makes the element resize based on its content, perfect for buttons or labels that adjust with the text. So let's take an example of a button. We'll edit text in it. Then we'll add more content to it. And see how it changes automatically. Second, fill container. This stretches the element to fill the entire width or height of its parent container. Great for headers, footers, or navigation bars. Let's again take an example for it. Click on the content and choose Fill Container. And see the change. How the content has adapted to the container's size. Next, it logs the container's size no matter what the content is inside. So even if you add more content in the frame, it won't change its size. Let's say we are designing a card. So first we'll place an image in a placeholder. Then we'll add some text to it. And let's create a button. Now, let's choose all the content and click on Auto Layout. For image, choose Fixed Size. For text, choose Hug Content. And for button, choose Fill Container. See, it's so easy, right? Next up, let's look at direction plus gap types, which are super helpful when arranging elements inside auto layout frames. You can control how elements are stacked vertically or horizontally and the spacing between them. So there are three types of direction. Vertical, which stacks elements one below the other. Horizontal, that arranges elements side by side. And wrap, which automatically wraps elements to the next row or column when there is no more space. For gap types, you can choose fixed gap. You specify the exact pixel distance between the elements. And next, auto. Figma will automatically adjust the spacing based on the content and layout. Let's say we have a vertical list of cards. Let's create a simple grid of cards using the vertical direction with a fixed gap of 20 pixels between them. If we change the direction to horizontal, the card will align side by side. Let's use wrap to see how Figma handles overflow. If there's no space left in the row, remember wrap is awesome when you want a flexible grid where elements can adjust based on available space, like creating a responsive gallery. Now let's talk about alignment box, which controls the positioning of elements within an auto layout container. It's especially useful for aligning items along the X or Y axis inside a container. You can align items to the top, bottom, left, right, center, or use stretch to make them fill the entire axis. Imagine a vertical stack of items inside a card. If you want the text to align to the top and the button to align at the bottom, you can adjust the alignment box for each item. Let's create a vertical stack with text and a button. We'll use alignment box to align the text to the top and the button to the bottom like this. And notice how they reposition inside the card. So here's the fact, using stretch for alignment is great when you want elements to fulfill the available space equally, like in navigation bars or headers. Alright, now let's combine everything we have learned into a real world example. We are going to create a responsive card layout using all the resizing options, direction plus gap types, and alignment box settings. First, create a frame with auto layout. Add a fixed size image at the top. Add a text block with resizing option as you want. And add a button at the bottom and set to according to your need. Now arrange the card content vertically and choose a gap that you want between the elements, or you can set it to auto. Next, align the text to the top and the button to the bottom using the alignment box. So let's try adding more items to it and experiment with it, like this. Switch the direction to wrap and resize the card to see how the content changes. You can add any items or elements and see the changes one by one to make it clear that how all the options work. Great job! Let's quickly recap what we covered today. Resizing options like hug contents, fill container, fix size, that helps you control how elements resize based on their content or parent container. Next, direction plus gap types, vertical, horizontal, and wrap, that allows you to control the flow and spacing of elements inside auto layout frames. The alignment box gives you fine-grained control over how elements are aligned inside the parent containers. You now have the tools to create flexible, responsive designs with ease. Don't forget to experiment with these features and see how they work together to make your layouts more dynamic and adaptable. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy for your IT source. We are always there to help you navigate to the tech world. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.